What's up guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be doing another tier list. Today's tier list is going to be something obviously has been very big for the channel. It is going to be ranking mainline Pokemon games, not the likes of Pokemon Dungeon or anything or Pokemon Stadium. They will not be included in this tier list. So we're just going to do the mainline games, and we're going to try to do it in order. This mess here is not in order, so I'll just try to keep an eye out for specific games. Also, see when it's the likes of like two games that came out together, like Pokemon Blue and Red, they're basically the same game, so they'll go into the same section. This games that have like slight alterations, like Pokemon Yellow, that is slightly different, it can be ranked in its own list. We've obviously got an S, A, B, C and D list. I don't think any of them will end up in D. Now, I will say this is a list that I'll probably do again in the future, because as I do Pokemon series on the channel, I am going to do deep dives into most of these games more than I ever have before. There's games on here, I've played pretty much all of them, but there is games here that I've only played a bit because I didn't have access to a Nintendo 3DS at the time, or I wasn't that into the game when I played it. There might actually be a couple of days now that I'm thinking about it, but we're just going to go ahead and get on into it. First things first, we're going to start off with Pokemon Yellow. Pokemon Yellow is an A. It's the GOAT, but not for me. It's the one that pretty much started it all, along with Blue and Red. But I just didn't like getting Pikachu. I know obviously it followed more of Ash's story. It's probably the only game in the whole Pokemon mainline series that has followed Ash's story slightly, with obviously having to choose Pikachu. I don't like not having a choice. That is why Blue and Red, which obviously is a slight difference from, are going in S. They're the first Pokemon games I ever played. I pumped at least 100 hours into Pokemon Blue. I had a level 100 Zapdos, Articuno, Moltres, Mewtwo. I had the lot. I beat the Elite Four at least 100 times. My Hall of Fame was just constant. So yeah, it's a better game. My starter in Pokemon Blue was always Squirtle. I always went Squirtle, and sometimes if you replay it, I would do Charmander. It was very rarely Bulbasaur. Just grass types just don't really do it for me. But funnily enough, if this comes out around the same time as my Pokemon Sapphire series, the Bulbasaur line there will probably come back to haunt me. Next would be Gold, Silver and Crystal. I'm going to put Crystal in S. I love Johto, and while we're here we might as well put Silver and Gold. They're all in S. I can tell you now, like, coming off the back of Pokemon Blue, which I've replayed over and over and over again, I didn't think I could have been that into a Pokemon game again. And then we actually got, in my house, we actually got Gold and Silver together, even though they're the same game, and I just played the hell out of both of them. I would say, even though I definitely know more Pokemon from the original 151 off by heart, the Johto games is where my love of Pokemon really blossomed. I absolutely adore the whole layout. I adore it. There's obviously, you've got your initial 8 gyms, and then you get to go and do Kanto again. I love that you get to battle Red, aka Ash, at the end of the game on Mount Moon. I still remember the first time seeing that level 80 plus Pikachu at the end of the game, and you're just like, really making me feel like an ass for not being as into Pokemon Yellow, weren't you? I think it's amazing. I do like the whole thing about the legendary dogs aren't guaranteed catchers. They flee, you have to find them in the wild. If you put in the time, you can keep flying to the same town over and over again. I hope it's next door. I like that, because being able to capture Zapdos, Articuno, Moltres and Mewtwo at the end of the game, obviously, in the likes of Blue and Red and Yellow, it sort of like cheapens it a little bit, because you're training you can have the 3 legendary birds before the Elite Four, and you've probably got a team of 6 by that point, and you're being training the whole game, and then all of a sudden, oh, we'll just swap freeze out for legendary birds for the Elite Four. It's a bit of a scam. I still love the games, don't get me wrong. They're still S tier, but it's one flaw. So Johto, for me, they're the best Pokemon games ever made. And I know in the recent Pokemon Day announcement, when they were going to make a big announcement, it ended up being Pokemon Legends Z. I was hoping they were going to announce Let's Go Johto, one of the few people that wanted Let's Go Johto, but I digress. Ruby and Sapphire, I'm going to put, well, Ruby, Sapphire and Platinum, I'm going to put it B. It's pretty much more of the same. I don't think it improved at all on what Gold and Silver did. I think that I loved obviously the updated graphics on the Game Boy Advance, like who didn't, but there's a game that came out around the same time that I'm going to rank in a second. It just wasn't as good as, and it was a remake. This is very similar to the game they've remade from the first gen, and it should be better. They obviously go back to the whole 8 gems method, the whole Team Aqua stuff. Not really interested. Like, they should have just kept it to Team Rocket, in my opinion. See, having a new villain team every single series, you don't need it. Kyogre and Groudon are probably two of my favourite legendaries, to be fair, especially for box art legendaries. But it was the first time that the free legendaries that were like hard to catch in the game, the Reggies, Regirock, Registeel, Regice, they are terrible, and the amount of effort you have to put in to finding them and getting them, having to catch Whalmer and all, have in front of your party, not worth it at all. It's good for a randomised Nuzlocke series, but the whole thing about having to find the Master Ball randomly in Team Team Magma or Aqua Hideout, it just wasn't for me. It's still a B. It's a Pokemon game. It's still gonna be good, guaranteed. But it was not my cup of tea. Here we go for the D's I was talking about. We've got Diamond, and I'm trying to find Pearl. I'm probably missing. That's probably right in front of me. Yeah, Diamond and Pearl are D's. I've never finished them. They're too long. They're too boring. They're too repetitive. I just don't like them. There's a good chance that there's never going to be a randomized version on the channel. We'll probably do every other generation apart from Pearl and Diamond. I hate them. I just do not like them at all. I'm trying to see if there was, I can't remember if there was a spin-off of them. I wouldn't have played it if there was, but I didn't. I'm not keen on it at all. That actually set me back on Pokemon a little bit. I can't remember what came first. I know I got Diamond first out of the DS releases. I got Diamond just before I got Heart Gold and Soul Silver. It's obviously a remake of what I just said was my favourite games. So Heart Gold and Soul Silver are S tier. Being able to take something that was like, the fact that we were in Gen 4 and they were remaking Gen 2 games, like you can sort of see it was slim pickings in terms of the remakes. It was perfect. There might be a nightmare to do Nuzlocke on, because obviously on emulators you can get the black screen sometimes around your character. It can be a nightmare, but as the base game, I loved Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Everything about it is perfect. It's like taking what you did perfectly for these free games and just adding better graphics, better design, a few extra little side quests, and just you can't go wrong. Like, you're polishing one of your best series, so you can't really go wrong with that. So they're staying there, and these games are so much better than these games. You wouldn't even think they're for the same console. It's a different planet, in my opinion. Remember, it's my opinion. Like, you never know. I don't see the remakes on here, so they might get a reprieve. I doubt it. They might get a reprieve. Next up, I think we were on Pokemon Black and White. I can't see White though. Oh, there it is there. Pokemon Black and White, I would actually put them in A. After the mess that was Diamond and Pearl, I was sort of losing faith that they had the ability to create like an engaging, good Pokemon game, like from scratch. Like, they could remake like the Johtos and the Kantos all they wanted, but like they needed to. It actually reminded me I missed out on FireRed and LeafGreen. They can remake all they want because they're just doing what they've already done well better. But like, as an original game, Black and White really brought me back into it, and it's a very good game for Nuzlocke as well. I really enjoyed it personally. I I enjoyed the first Black and White more than the second Black and White, so we'll quickly do Black and White 1 and 2, or Black and White 2, and then we'll go back and do Fire Red. It's still a B. Like, it's not. It's a very good game as well. It's just not as good. First Pokemon mainline game as well to get a direct sequel. Like, not a remake, not a rehash. It was a direct sequel. So that was the first. It was big for the series, and there's actually rumors that the next Pokemon game that comes out could be a Black and White free. Now, them rumors probably will be unfounded because like they're so far past that. Like they're open world now. Well, as open world as you can be in Pokemon. Like you had Sword and Shield, you've had Scarlet and Violet. Like you can't really go back to that story if you know what I mean. Like they're bigger and I was gonna say bigger and better things, but I'm not gonna say that because I don't think the Switch games are better than what we've got. So like very good, just not as good. FireRed and LeafGreen, you can't. They're S tier. There's a reason FireRed was the game I chose to be the first game as a randomized Nuzlocke on the channel. Like it's so colourful, it's so beautiful. It's obviously got 3 generations of Pokemon. It has abilities and all the way as opposed to Blue and Red and Yellow didn't. Like it's got all the updated features just applied to Kanto. They couldn't go wrong. It's and it's a lovely game to play for Nuzlocks. It's S all the way. Oh, there's Emerald there. It can go beside the other Ruby and Sapphire. B as well. It's just it's average. B's obviously average. It's in the middle. So what was next? I think it was Sun and Moon next, was it? Sun and Moon, and then Sun and Ultra Moon. Okay, I don't like Sun and Moon at all. I'm trying to look for regular Moon. I don't want to put the wrong one in. Yeah, Sun and Moon, I think they went backwards. I don't know if that was the first 3DS game. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know if X and Y or Sun and Moon was the first 3DS game. Quite a lot of games came out for the 3DS. I'm just looking there. Like, what, 4 generations? Yeah, I think it's a C. And I'm also going to put Ultra Moon and Ultra Sun at C as well. It just they aren't that good. This is when I did start to feel, right, they're running out of steam, they're running out of ideas. I think I was just sort of holding on to the fact that I didn't know a lot of the Pokemon beyond like 350, like the first 3 gens, and I was getting older. I sort of lost touch. I was only playing a lot of these games sparingly, like the likes of the Sun and Moons and Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, like compared to the original Game Boy games. Like, you're probably talking 10% of the time I played the older stuff, but I played it enough to like form an opinion, and it's just an opinion. I know they're popular games. I just was not a fan personally. But I did start to feel there's too many Pokemon now. Like the stories don't make sense. Like how you only encounter new Pokemon now, but it is what it is. X and Y is a very good game. Very, very good. I know it's very, very popular. I'm gonna have to put it in A because it's very good and it's better than Ruby and Sapphire. But yeah, like that's when you started building up a little bit of hope of game. The 3DS finally, like in my opinion, shows like yeah, there's some quality games on here. Because for a long time, like I didn't take the jump to buy a 3DS because the Nintendo DS was so good for me. Like so many games I loved on it, between Diddy Kong Racing remake. Super Mario 64 DS. I didn't need a 3DS in my opinion, but this was the first time that it really showed it can do a good Pokemon game. And then they did Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Amazing remakes. The jump from original game to the remake is probably biggest here out of all of them. It was bigger than Blue and Red, Fire Red, Leaf Green. It was bigger than Gold and Silver, the Soul Silver, Heart Gold, like including megas and all, like the graphics, like little changes to the story. It was brilliant. Still not enough to be an S tier because the actual story of Ruby and Sapphire still just isn't an S tier game in my opinion, but it is still a big upgrade on the originals, and I cannot wait to randomized Nuzlocke of that series. It'll be probably the first 3DS game we do on the channel, like it's randomized. The first Nintendo Switch entry, Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. I know it's obviously Kanto. I know I've been waxing lyrical about my love of the Kanto games. It's sort of been done to death. Yes, seeing the Pokemon roaming in the grass was nice. It was a nice touch. It's like, but we've seen it all. It felt more like the Ash story than any of the other games in my opinion because of the graphics, because you can see Brock as a 3D model and all. It's a lovely game. If I had anytime I have a choice between Pikachu and Eevee, I always go Eevee. My daughter's called Eevee. Obviously, like when you can evolve it, so many choices of evolution. Yeah, so it's still an A. It's Kanto. It's gonna be top 2 tiers, that's for sure. Pretty much guaranteed. Sword and Shield are actually the first Switch games I bought. I bought them before Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. This is actually a tough one because I'm not a fan of the open world format. I don't like, especially if we're doing a randomized Nuzlocke, I don't want to be able to see who I'm going to encounter. It sort of takes away from it. There's a reason why there's like all the biggest Pokemon YouTubers like Original 151, United Gamer. None of them have done like a Sword Let's Play series or a Soul Link or anything on these games, because you can see who you're going to get. You can pretty much cherry pick. So it's in my opinion, Sword and Shield is a B, and I'm only putting it at B because Violet and Scarlet and Violet, which aren't here, this must be an older list, they would be a C. The problems at launch with them for a start, like the lagging, the graphics, like none of it was good enough. It would be a C if it was here. Sword and Shield can be a B. The whole like after story rumbles on a good bit. One thing I did really enjoy is that it wasn't an Elite Four for a change. It was you battled the gym leaders you fought throughout in a tournament. Much better idea, very good execution, and it made it feel like important, like having the crowd and all cheering you on. Like that is updates we needed in Pokemon. We didn't need what Scarlet and Violet give us. We should be beyond that now. I felt like a step backwards, Scarlet and Violet. But that's my list. If I had to pick an absolute favourite out of all these, it's actually tough. I would say Heart Gold and Soul Silver would be my favourites. Followed by probably... No, Pokemon Blue has to stay there. Pokemon Blue, out of any game I've ever had, has the most play-free hours by far. It's not even close. So yes, that game can stay there. But the rest of the list is fine. It's not in order, but like that... As you can tell, I'm very much a home bird. Everybody in the S tier is within Kanto and Johto. So, yeah, that tells you everything you need to know. Yeah, and a lot of the like Gen 4s, Gen 5s, Gen 6s are way down here. So, I'm a home bird. Like, first 2 gens is my home. And anything after that, it's there, but I'm not going to acknowledge it as much, that's for sure. I don't mind acknowledging Gen 3 because I've played Ruby and Sapphire a decent bit now, but every other game I just don't have the play free that anything else does. But that's my tier list, guys. If you can comment underneath with your own tier list, you can tell me what you think of mine. You can do whatever you guys like. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe if you're new, and I shall see you on the next one.